Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. A volcano has erupted on the Reykjanes Peninsula of southwest Iceland after weeks of intense earthquake activity. About 4,000 people were evacuated last month from Grindavik, a fishing town about 4 kilometers away. The Icelandic Met Office said the eruption started north of the town on Monday night. Iceland has been braced for volcanic activity for weeks. Since late October, the region around the capital Reykjavik has been experiencing an increase in earthquake activity. The eruption can be seen from Reykjavik, which is about 42 kilometers northeast of Grindavik.
Og það hefur við gert áður og það munum við gera nú. Við munum
Icelandic Prime Minister Katrin Jakobsdóttir said her country stood in support of the residents of the fishing town of Grindavik. Experts say the eruption has come partly as a surprise.
Yes and no is the answer. So yes, because we did not expect it will start tonight. Yeah. No, because we have seen precursors since many weeks. Actually, since October, we have seen an inflation in the area. So the area has been undergoing an uplift and horizontal extension. In November, there were swarms of earthquakes. Some earthquakes were so large that rockfalls appeared, houses got cracks in Grindavik town. The Grindavik town was evacuated. And so therefore we expected a new activity. That it's happening tonight, this was not possible to forecast, but we could say there was a lot of magma stored at depth. And so this has now been mobilized and came to the surface.
At least 126 people have been killed in northwest China in the country's deadliest earthquake for years. Here, CCTV capturing the moment customers eating inside a restaurant at Linxia City ran following the tremors. The 6.2 magnitude quake hit mountainous Gansu province around midnight, also shaking neighbouring Qinghai. Fatalities may rise, with more than 700 reported in icy conditions. Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered thousands of rescue crew to the region, among the poorest and most diverse in China. Attacks on commercial ships in the Red Sea risk pushing up the price of oil and other goods, analysts have warned. Several firms have paused shipments through the route after vessels were attacked by Houthi rebels in Yemen. The world's second largest shipping line, Maersk, said on Tuesday that it would reroute some of its vessels around Africa's Cape of Good Hope. The disruption has led the US to launch an international naval operation to protect ships in the Red Sea. Economists say the closure of the Suez Canal would be bad news for the global economy.
Look at the numbers. The Suez Canal accounts for more than 10% of global trade, more than 30% of container transportation. So if this canal is really blocked, it means bad news for world trade, bad news for the global economy, and bad news for inflation.
Heavy rain has paralysed several parts of India's southern state of Tamil Nadu, inundating roads, affecting train services and leaving authorities scrambling to rescue those stranded. The deluge occurred while the state was still recovering from the damage caused by cyclone Michaung, which lashed the coast last month, killing at least 13 people. Tamil Nadu received almost 50 millimetres of rainfall between Sunday and Monday, compared with the 2.5 millimetres that would be normal at this time of year. More rainfall is predicted later. Brazil's First Lady, Rosângela Lula da Silva, has said she will sue Elon Musk-owned social platform X, formerly known as Twitter, after having her account hacked last week. The alleged hacker entered Janja's account on December the 11th and posted several messages, including insults against the First Lady and President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, as well as misogynistic slurs. And an evening dress worn by the late Princess Diana has sold for $1.1 million at auction, 11 times its estimate, breaking the record price for one of her gowns going under the hammer. Diana first wore the black and blue ballerina-length evening dress by designer Jacques Azaguri in Florence in 1985. She was also photographed in it a year later on a visit to Vancouver. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel studios in Lagos.